Welcome to the World Curling Federation's Olympic Qualification event 2017. We're in Pilsen, Czech Republic, just a little over an hour's drive west of the capital, Prague. And we'll be coming to you live from the Košutka Arena in Pilsen. My name's Sandra Olvag, and I'm joined by the 2002 Olympic champion, Rona Martin. Good afternoon, Rona.
Good afternoon.
This is the Košutka Arena, and for our featured game today we'll have the home nation of Czech Republic taking on China. It's the 2010 bronze medalist Wang Bingyu, looking to make it back to the Olympics for a third consecutive time. All the Czechs will be looking to represent their country for the first time. Here's the lineup for the team Czech Republic today. It's Klára Svataniová. We have the second player, Teresa Pliskova. At third position is Alžběta Baudyšová, and the team is skipped by Anna Kubeškova. Alternate, Eshen Kolchevska, and the team coach is Karel Kubeška. For China, Ma Jingyi as lead, Liu Jinli at second, Zhou Yan at third, and of course, the ever so famous skip of China, Wang Bingyu. Jiang Jindi and Tan Weidong makes up the rest of the team. As we look at the participating teams, along with China and the Czech Republic, we'll have Denmark, Finland, Germany, Italy and Latvia fighting it out for the last two spots at the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. Here's the first session in the women's. I see the two other games going on today. We'll have Denmark facing off against Italy. Latvia will take on Germany. It's already a couple of exciting games to kick off this week here in Pilsen. James just getting ready here, coming onto the ice for some final preparations. Should be a cracking game, Rona.
Yeah, definitely. Czech Republic have just come off European Championships last week in Switzerland, and you know, I think both of these countries are absolutely desperate to be qualifying for Olympic Games. So I think we'll see a lot of stones in play here in this game.
We'll see China throw the yellow stones. Czech Republic will have the red, and it is Ma Jingyi to throw the first stone here for Team China. The Czechs winning the last stone advantage in pre-game practice. And, from the looks of it, just early on in the practice today, I'd say the ice is looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. A nice swing. All sheets coming in from the hog line, so I definitely think we're going to see a lot of stones in play. And see the countries that want to take it on and try and win the game early on.
Here is Klára Svataniová, lead for the Czechs. China coming into the house, so a bit of a cautious start, and Czech Republic will follow just with a hit, so might just have an open end here. Is that pretty normal for a first game in an important event like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's so much at stake this week that the first game is key for everybody here, and I think we'll maybe just see an end or two of just easing in to get the teams comfortable, get them happy with the ice, and just settle them into the game.
Up and down the Czech Republic, the Europeans. It'll be interesting to see if they can pick up their spirits and play a little better. We know they can.
Definitely, you know, it's just getting the consistency right throughout the whole week. They had some good games out at the Europeans, but they're a very experienced team, and they know how to play, so they know what they need to do. It's just doing it.
Liao Jinli is playing the second stones for Team China. And speaking of experience, I'm sure the China team is maybe the favourites for many this week. But here we see an early mistake.
Yeah. As I say, that they are still, you know, this is their first game on the ice surface, really, so it is just finding their way, seeing what the ice is doing, how it's reacting. That one obviously curled more than they anticipated, so just give them an end or two to settle down.
This will give Czech Republic an early chance to get something going here. Looking to split the rings here. Try and get some separation. Trying to leave an awkward angle for China. As we take a look at the rules of play, we will have 6 ends minimum, but the game is scheduled for 10. 38 minutes of thinking time is awarded the teams, and you have 1 60-second timeout to bring out your coach. So time to make up for the first mistake here for Liao Jinli.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, didn't want to take on the double, just want to try and group the red stones and just wait for a better chance. Here's Teresa Pliskova. She'll be looking to make the hit here and to hang around, perhaps even try and roll a bit to the right of our screen, but we'll just sit right there on the top of the 12 foot.
It's certainly asking the question of China, because China have got last stone here and they want to just have quite a simple end and blanket. So Czechs have got the last stone, so you know that one mistake from China just sets up a big opportunity for Czech to get on the scoreboard with a deuce at the first end.
Yeah, it's Zhou Yan third for China here. That will have to try and tidy things up. Looking for a hit and roll off the stone on the wing here. Try and find some cover. Basically use that top stone as a guard. They'll come very close as well, but that will be still in the open for the Czechs to make the hit and roll back. Better. Valdisova.
Sweepers are working this one really hard.
It makes the roll in behind cover, but they're looking to make the roll the other way to leave more separation. Now there's a double in play for China.
Yeah, that's an easier double now for China to lift. Nearly, but not quite. So a good opportunity now for Czech to split the house and set up a 2.
First stone is on the center line, so no chance for maximum separation here. So if you can get the weight right, put it right on the T line, leave it flat, no double should be there, but this one's filling up way short, Rona.
That's way short. It's just over the hog line really, so yeah, that's disappointing for them. It is a corner guard, but it's a very long corner guard that's unlikely to be usable.
Just perhaps hit a fresh path early on, first end.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where it's key. You see all the players wearing stopwatches that they time the ice at different parts, whether it's the centre or out in the wing. Because until kind of the whole sheet's been played down, there will be different tracks and different speeds.
And here's the skip, Wang Bingyu, 2009 world champion, followed by that bronze medal at the Olympics the year after. And I believe she's quite keen to make it back and go for gold. This one just rolls out. See if that corner guard comes into play after all.
Yeah, it is very long though, so even if they do bury behind it, I'm sure China would be able to get in towards the shot and tap it back.
Jo, určitě. Když možná víc si nedám asi radši, já nevím, no. Spíš asi do 5, no.
So you can hear the communication there with the skip and the hack with the sweepers. Because obviously our third players came up way short, so.
Kubeshkova.
Jenom vy!
Long time skip for this Czech side. We'll be looking for that draw in around the corner. As you said, Rona, it's a pretty long guard, so you do not want to come too deep with this one. Just try and put it even top 12. This one is hanging out there for a moment. Trying to finish it off and dig in on behind cover, but I believe this will be at least half exposed for China.
Yeah, at least the inside's covered, so Czech will be happy with that China can't hit and roll behind the guard.
Expect to see a controlled takeout here, perhaps just a board weight. Bring the sweepers into play here.
Oh, I don't think she wants them to sweep that one then.
Trying to get there, and in the end, they will remove the red stone and just hang about the back of the 12-foot. Good shot by Wang Bingyu to start this week. And it will be Anna Kubeshkova to play the peel, hit this yellow and roll out, blank the end, and retain the advantage of last stone coming into the second. It's a shot that has to be made. We've seen this type of shot missed before. Routine shot, but down to the wire. It's not always as easy as in practice. Big sweep on this one.
She got it on the nose.
Okay.
Yep.
Commentator's curse in play. It will be one for the Czech Republic. An unforced error, 1 point. Up on the board, 1-0 after one end of play.
8-3, no. Slabší necházíš normálně. Dobrý, pohodě. Dobrý, pardon. Moje. Zkusíme útočit nebo... Jo, co abych 3. Ne? Abych ještě ne.
Here. The Kosciuszka Arena. Second end now. Czech Republic were looking to bank that first end, but Kubeshka were just over curling. Stuck around for the single point, so China with the hammer. And we'll see if they put up a corner guard here to get things going. I think they will.
Yeah, Czech ideally would have liked that stone top tee, so there was nothing to freeze on, but China will just ignore it and get up their corner guards.
So when you have the last stone, how come you put corner guards rather than a centre guard? What makes the difference?
Ideally, when you've got last stone and you want to generate 2 or more, you want the centre clear so the skip can always get in with their last stone. So by going out to the corner, if you get into a mess behind the guards, you can always draw the centre to get out of danger. So it just gives them that cover. That's a good corner guard because it's not too long. You can bury around that.
Czech Republic wanting to perhaps keep the play along the centre line and cut down the scoring area for China.
Yeah, so they'll try and block the centre and China want the centre clear. So you just got to be careful because the positioning of this second lead stone is quite important. Because China can always hit and roll off that behind the corner guard. You know, they're not going to ignore 2 stones in the centre when they're just 1 down on the scoreboard. So this is a key opportunity now for Leeds to make that key shot, the hit and roll behind the corner.
Yeah, definitely expect the corner guards and the draws to the open house to be there every single time, but this is a type of setup shot that the very best leads will make quite often. And this one will actually roll out, and that's a huge mistake because it leaves the Czech Republic a chance to peel that corner guard now if they wanted to. And we'll see if they do or if they keep the offense on. As we take a look at the coach for China, Tan Weidong.
Yeah, it's these shots that they are must-make shots for the Leeds, you know, to set up the heads. Because by Czech being able to clear the corner guard now, China's whole end is going to be difficult to score their 2.
Pliskova actually has to play the hit and roll off the corner here to try and keep the shooter in play, try and sit 2 and perhaps get a force. Just clips the corner, rolls a bit too far, close, but just needed to curl another inch there.
Yeah, so
Karel Kubeshka, team coach of the Czech Republic, will be comfortable for the moment.
China will just persevere here with trying to put up guards and try and force an error from Czech.
This stone not really wanting to leave the centre line. But ends up in a nice spot after all. We'll see if Kubeshkova feels that that guard is so close to the centre line, it's almost usable for them. It looks like they will come into the house here. Mix up the play. So clearly the Czechs are out to put some pressure on the Chinese. As this stone settles down on the top of the 8-foot, I'm just going to scoot over to the game between Latvia and Germany. The Latvians with a chance to pick up a couple of points here. The first end, Iveta Stasas Harsuna with a little tap on the yellow stone here, and the button has to come through the port here. squeaks past and will get to the yellow. Stick around. I think yes. And that is 2 points for Latvia. Great start for them. That's a great shot right there. Confidence builder for Stasas Ersune early on. As you see China make the hit and roll in front of that back red, and Czech Republic will make a play of their own here and try and sit 2 back.
Možná trošku, no. Už to dotáčelo.
You mentioned perhaps China's favourites this week. What other teams do you think has the edge?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call this week. I think China will certainly be one of the favourites to take one of the 2 spots, and I think for the ladies, any team here could take that 2nd spot. You know, many of them have just been at the European Championships last week and have played each other, so it's going to be a big tussle, I think, between all the ladies here.
It's all about bringing your A game. I agree, any team here with a good week will certainly progress to Pyeongchang.
And it's such a big incentive for all teams to get to that Olympic Games, you know, and it's...
Tohle bylo to 9-6, jo.
Saudisova with the open hit here. This hit 2. You see just the 1 sweeper in action here.
That's good stone positioning. They're both very well spread, but not a double there for China.
We did have a bit of a spell some time ago with some more abrasive fabrics and directional sweeping, which is, of course has been resolved in a very nice manner, but players still feel that there's a slight chance to get some directional effect from the sweeping. So especially for takeouts, you'll see only the 1 sweeper in action, sweeping against the grain and with the grain, if you will.
Yeah, most countries seem to have adopted it this year, certainly. They're all buying into that ethos that it's the right way to go. I think there's been certain tests done with machinery and stones to prove what the sweeping trajectory, you know, does. Whether it's a draw, whether it's a takeout, it can be quite different.
Yeah, traditionally, the thought was that when you sweep the ice, you heat it up, there's less friction and less curl, but we're now seeing that there perhaps you make microscopical scratches in the ice, that the stones actually follow a wee bit, and that's what makes the stones straighten out when you sweep it, or perhaps add curl, if all depending on which side you're sweeping on.
If you're going with the curl or away from the curl.
Exactly.
So another good shot from Czech Republic there. Lie 2 nicely spread across the house. They would really like to force China into taking 1 at this end after them taking the 1 at the first end. The players all clearing the underside of the stone to make sure it doesn't pick up any debris going up the ice. All the granite comes from Ailsa Craig that makes the curling stones.
I see Wang Bingyu just ignoring the red stones here, knowing that she'll never get a chance to play a double here and blank the end, so might as well try and go for your 2 coming around this corner guard.
taking a long time to furrow. It's a wee bit heavy.
It's actually going all the way through the house, Rona. I guess the only good part there is she'll have a better guess with her second one. Most likely have to draw once more to save the end, but like you mentioned before, Rona, with the cornegars, the centre is open, so you'll always have that chance to save the end.
Yeah, it was a good call from China there to go around the guard and really try and put the pressure back on Czech Republic. Because if she'd buried behind the guard, it certainly been an opportunity maybe for a 2. And you have to play to win.
Get the clock up here. Hog to hog split. Just to see how the ice is looking here in the first draw. Super's backing off this 13-8, which in itself is pretty quick, and this one's going to actually come very deep, so this tells me that the ice is very quick this week, already on the first day. It's impressive.
Yeah, very fast ice.
Very so often you'll see the ice be a little bit green at the start of a championship before it settles, but it's flying early on here. And probably a little bit quicker than it was at the European Championships, so maybe a slight adjustment needed, at least for the Czechs that represented there. Of course, ice is different wherever you go in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So just take that time to get used to it, but we saw China going down that path with her first stone, and obviously the Czech Republic didn't learn from the speed that she threw, and they both really threw the same weight.
So we're down to the last stone here of the second end. I should be looking at maybe closer to 15. This time we get 14-9. That tells me this should be pretty close to perfect. And just some easy cleaning as the stone enters the 4-foot. Nice draw there by Wang Bingyu. Is able to correct her draw weight on the second attempt, and it's 1-0 after 2 ends of play here in Pilsen.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018, your curling oasis awaits.
你这边逆踏，我操，真逆踏，稍微小一点劲擦一擦，飞走，这个后区。
Welcome back to the World Curling Federation's Qualification event 2017. Teams are in this to qualify for the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang in February. It's the last chance to get there. It's China and Czech Republic, and the women's first draw. Facing off, it's 1 point for each team so far. With a couple more games in action this afternoon. With the Finland team actually having a bye and a bit of a practice session.
What do you think, Xander? Do you think it's an advantage or a disadvantage to have a bye in the first game?
Well, you would think maybe you'd prefer to go out there and play a game and get used to the ice. I'd say it's so different practicing on ice and like actually playing a game, and yeah, it could be a slight disadvantage for Finland. be playing a team that's already been on the ice for a game.
Yeah, and it's only the ladies this week because the men have got an even number, so they don't need a bye. It's just the ladies because they've only got 7 teams here.
Well, you can't control who qualifies for this event. It's all about who's represented at the World Championships and how many points they've gathered, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so all these teams have represented their country at World Championships in the last Olympic cycle, so they're entitled to be at this qualifying event. 8 countries have already qualified for the Olympics in world rankings.
Yeah, it's an exciting event though, I think.
Definitely.
Couple of guards up early on as we hop over onto the game between Denmark and Italy. It's Madeleine Dupont, skip of Denmark, with an return draw here in the second end, trailing Italy by the single point. Urging our sweepers to keep it clean. As we saw, the ice is moving lightning fast, so sweepers might be careful not to oversweep it, as this one will just settle down onto the backing for the single point here for Dupont. It's a tie game between Denmark and Italy, just like in our future game here. Just saw a couple of stones being run off by Lian Jinli. See it again here. Angled run, can't quite stick the yellow, but it's a nice tidy up.
Můžeme 10, no. Možná by tady mohl zůstat i tenhle v kruhu. Okay.
You see the Czechs not really wanting to keep the play along the center line, as we discussed earlier. They have the last stone and want to keep it open. So instead of just breaking it open here, they'll actually play the down weight and try and generate some offense. They'll hit and roll off the hill and try and tickle that tight red centre guard into the house, which they have done. That's a great shot there by Pliskova. Shooter maybe rolling just a tad too far to be a usable corner, but good effort.
Yeah, it's a great result. Centre's wide open now, and if China don't get a hit and roll behind this guard, then Czech have got cover there. And the Czech Republic will probably feel a wee bit more pressure as well that they're playing in home turf this week. The home crowd will be in cheering and supporting them, so it'll be nice for them.
Does that affect players differently, you think? Does some players play even better when they have home fans cheering them on, or is it mostly
Yeah, I think
a nervous kind of thing?
Most players do like that crowd support, and there's many players in the circuit that play to the crowd, but no, I definitely think it's a good advantage to have that home support. And, you know, it's a lonely place out there sometimes on the ice, and it's nice to have that support behind you.
Tady 14-2. Není moc teda.
So there's not a lot of house to draw two behind this corner guard because it's so wide. They're going to have to work this one really hard.
Elżbieta Bodyszowa just coming up a bit short, but leaves a corner, so still something in play for the Czechs. She came up late in the first in as well, down this very same path. Looks like China will come around the corners. Good play into the hands of the Czechs. Okay, we're come a little bit deep here and around the corner. The Czechs have something to freeze on to.
Yeah, it's quite important there for China to stay top of the tee.
This one actually under curling, so it'll be fully open. Doesn't really become an issue. Hit and roll is called by the Czech Republic.
I thought they might have just drawn up to this. Put the pressure a bit on China. I certainly don't want to roll out here because China could get a better one round the guard.
Okay.
Manages to hit and stay in the house.
Be important for Wang Bingyu to stick around here. If you roll out, there's a chance for Beshkova to come around those corners, set up for skips twos. Doesn't really have a lot to roll to here, but that stone being just the very back of the 12-foot. But sounds pretty good here. And we'll hang about.
Yep, that's a good shot. And this is where Czech Republic could ignore it and come round their corner. Try and generate a 2. But she also doesn't want to be in the position that she's facing 2 and having to take her 1. Hits and rolls out. So now China have got the opportunity to come around the guards.
Yeah, there's definitely no risk in coming around here. If you get it buried, you'll get a pretty easy force on the Czech Republic to take their single. That is still the classic tactic in curling. Allow your opponent to score the 1, try and score 2 back yourself.
Yep, the best laid plans doesn't always work that way, but that's the plan. Sweepers are saying they don't want to sweep this anyway. Plenty of weight on it. Trying to just bury it in as much as they can at the end.
That's probably enough to force Kubeskova to make the draw. I'm having a look though.
Můžeme hrát
See a
třeba
big enough piece,
desítkou.
but
Tak chceš?
Podívám se, jak sama.
Můžeme to hrát něčím pomalejším, když tak to bude single guardu
just wanna
dovnitř.
look from the hack before making up her mind.
Když to budeme hrát něčím moc pomalým, tak abychom pak tady vyjeli.
Sometimes the view from the hack's a little different.
To není na 10. Já vidím fakt jako maličko.
Tak chceš hrát to draw?
She is a left-hander, so she is coming from the other hack, but clearly she's saying, nah, I'll just draw,
Mega
thanks.
jiná stopa. Musíš si dát třeba aspoň modrá bílá?
Modrá bílá.
Yeah, I didn't feel it it's worth the risk.
Jako jejich draw kolem gardu bylo 15,5 teda. Jako...
But China will be pleased about that they are forcing the win, you know, just from that draw around the corner guard.
Last stone of the third end here. Only singles being awarded so far in the game. And we'll have another single up on the board. It's just a question of it being yellow or red.
All sweepers are on it now. She only needs to be fully in the house, so we're working hard.
Slightly panicked, but all good in the end. Top of the 8-foot, and a single point for the Czech Republic, deleted 2-1 after 3.
Nakonec to děláš na 6 teda.
Jo, nemám čas.
加油！降力的话，然后出手还那么出就行。
Clara Smetanyova will throw the first rock here in the fourth end. Looking for a centre guard. Perhaps wanting to force the issue over here. Get something going. And China will actually call the corner guard here, so we'll have a very attacking fourth end here early on.
Yeah, they've had 3 fairly clean ends, so okay, fourth end time to get going. They could come round that centre guard and try and get something going, but they've decided that it would be better plays to generate a 2 with corner guards.
We've seen some stones accumulate early on, but we've seen teams bail out early as well. That's left pretty much nothing in play, and like you said, we've had some open ends.
But this is where the leads, it's such a key position for the leads to set up the end. Their stone position is crucial. She's looking good here, drawing round the centre guard. Wants to stop top tee. Pretty good effort.
Yeah, almost pops a wee bit out on the other side actually. China will just call the freeze. I think you'll see some teams wanting to maybe move the shot zone a bit, try to free up the forefoot and create a bit more room to score. Already with the lead rocks, but this is more of a set-up shot. putting this right on top of the red for them to make a move later on.
It's taken a long time to curl that way. It's just hanging out. Her weight was nice.
Good old corner freeze by Ma Jingyi. And it's Teresa Pliskova to follow.
Pojď, Betty, až k němu! Jdeme výborně! Jdeme výborně, pojď, Betty! Ještě. Dík. Dobrá práce, hezký.
Well, China choosing to come in and freeze again, not to bump it, so we're going to see a nice wee clutter of stones in there. But this is where it's key that the angles are correct. The skip's planning a few shots in advance here, so just trying to get the angles of these stones right. It's bounced off that one a wee bit, but certainly the plant and the yellows is going to go to the red shot stone. So
Vyndáme jenom jeden a pak tady budou nejspíš dva na double. Takže stejná váha.
The Czech seem content at the moment. Just throw another stone onto the pile.
Tak čekej na směr. Já myslím, že dotočím, ale čekej. Jo, nemusíš, já myslím, že dojede sám. Jo. Okay.
And as this stone settles nicely into the pocket, in the top four will jump over onto the game between Latvia and Germany. See if Daniela Jentsch can reply after Latvia scoring that two.
Außen.
Flying second shot here. This is to remove the shot stone and hang about for the deuce. Needing to come up, and it will. Nice open hit from Skip Jentsch, and 2 points up on the board for Germany. It's a tight game.
Der war schneller, deswegen habe ich ihn aus dem Pilsen versucht, nur loszulassen.
Liu Jinli with this throw coming down here, looking to move things around a little bit. Move a few rocks, but will actually roll out herself. Not sure if that was too great for China.
no, ideally they wanted to take the angles off on the red and keep their shooter behind the guard, the corner guard anyway, so, but they did need to open it up a bit and start moving things about.
Můžeme hrát odsud 9. 8,5, OK.
Tady by to nemělo moc točit, si myslím.
You can see the green lights on the stone there, just indicating that it's been released before the hog line.
Pojď. OK。11秒52秒，力量 OK， 稍微小一点。
China just trying to hit the one that's in behind the corner guard and roll over to the pile.
Okay.
So she's done what her skip asked her to do.
Potřebovala ho brát jakoby z vnitřní hrany, abychom vyrazili aspoň tenhle spolu s tím červeným a zůstali by tady na sobě 2 červený a 1 žlutý volnej.
No, tak to jde tak jako 11 třeba. Jedině.
Jako teoreticky by mohlo jít i tohle. Ale stejně se asi zasekneme o tamten.
No, bych asi hrála o ten zvenku.
Můžeme zkusit tenhle sen zvenku, jako aby vyjelo aspoň něco teda, no.
Tohle.
No, já nevím.
Nic tady nehrozí. Prostě
Okay.
tady zůstane 1 žlutý, no.
Stejná?
Teoreticky, kdyby vyjel aspoň sem, tak by to nebylo úplně zlý, no.
Stejná?
Jo.
So, big discussions there. Yeah, Czech Republic want to just force China to get 1 here. They don't want to lose a 2, so they're trying to look at the stone placement. They know their red's a bit vulnerable in there.
Making a play on the yellow here and see what happens to the second one. And we'll spill to the side and then up off the red stone. It's not a terrible result for the Czechs, but China has certainly succeeded in opening up the forefoot here and gaining a bit more room.
Okay.
Does have 3rd shot, I believe. You wonder if it might be possible to make a double and roll here. Sit 2 for Zhou Yan.
Never, they're saying, so it must be a bit on the high side. Quite a lot of handle and rotation on that one.
I'm not even sure if it's going to make contact whatsoever. That's going to go sailing right past. Huge let off for the Czechs.
Yeah, so it certainly puts
Musíme ho brát docela do
Republic in a
zevnitř
good
teda, no, jako tady.
position now at this end.
Takže pak tady zůstane
If they can remove that yellow
Jako
and just
nějaký
check
free.
off the inside and lie 4,
Jakože
3
bychom
all
třeba
in the
cestu
4-foot
vyndali
area,
takhle.
then it's
Tak
a
jako
lot of
tak
pressure on
11.
China.
Tak tohle je na 10.
Tak 11.
Přijde to lepší, jo?
Přijde mi to líp kontrolovatelný.
Je vidět dost na cokoliv.
Můžete hrát i hekem, i 11. Tam jde spíš o ten odskok fakt. A taky jak to tady bude točit, no.
Czech
To je
Republic.
11, tohle.
I've never been in Olympic Games before, so they would dearly love to get off to a winning start here. They finished 6th in the last qualifying event 4 years ago.
11 půl!
Wow!
11!
Wow! Terka!
Pojď do
Ne,
něj!
jo, pojď do něj! Jo! Wow! Wow! Ja! 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 A žádný roll, žádný roll.
Great shot there.
Hezký, Ani.
The home fans appreciated that one.
Yeah, it certainly puts China under a bit of pressure here. She could maybe move 2 of those off the 4-foot, but she's got to think how she's going to get in with her last stone. Just trying to catch the inside and go in the 4-foot. Just over-curled a wee bit and rubbed off the other red stone. Still not a bad result at all. She just didn't want to roll out into the open. It's always a case of what you're leaving your opposition. That's the key thing. Where are you leaving your stone positions to give them a good hit and roll or a good freeze? So it's important not to give them an easy shot.
Wang Bingyu will be looking to move those top 2 red stones in the forfeit. This one not curling enough, and just going to jam and sit right there. Jack still line 2.
Good surfing.
A bude mít, jako i když budeme prostě tady, tak je to furt dobrý, jenom bajtovat.
So here the Czechs could up a guard and say, okay, you draw for 1. Because
Takže tady tak
we would like to. You could draw for 1 if they guarded this. She could put another one right round into the forefoot.
You could almost just guard the in-turn draw as well. I don't think the run back on the yellow gives you shot stone.
She would have to catch it very, very thin to go across the top probably. But yeah, so it's key here that she makes it very hard for China to get in for even 1.
Takže maximálně má kousat 6.
No, ale my nechceme zatočit za guard. Potřebujeme krejt ten červený.
Kousat 6.
Jo.
So having a good discussion to make sure the sweepers know where exactly she wants the stone to finish.
Jenom vy, místa 6. Místa hodně.
Směry dobré, jenom vy si ho hlídejte.
Just looking to just nibble the forfeit here. Hanging wide for the moment. Coming in now, sweepers on it. Starting to look pretty good here. Wanting to drag it just past the yellow to lie 3. Doesn't do that, but leaves it in a very nice spot. Pretty much choking off the in-turn draw for Wang Bingyu, and see that the run on the yellow onto the shot stone won't be good enough unless it does squirt a bit to the right. Tough little shot.
It is a tough shot. But it's really the only shot she's got.
What weight would you throw this run at?
It doesn't need to be a big weight, because as long as your yellow hangs about that forefoot, you might even get second shot. If you don't get first, at least you'll get second. If you play big weight, you might run out and lose a 3.
Catch it too thin yet.
Yeah, I think you've got to just play a really canny weight at this.
The home team has certainly asked the question of Wang Bingyu in this end. This is the last stone of the 4th. Already trailing by the 1 point here. Looking to tie it up again once more.
Trying to hold it.
Big sweep needing to catch the high side, but will over curl completely. In the end, leaves 2 red counters for the Czech Republic. Big miss from the Chinese skip. It's a big steal. 2 points up on the board, and it's a 4-1 game in favor of home team Czech Republic. Here we see it again. Sweeper's just trying to hold it, but just could not get it there, and didn't really improve the situation whatsoever. And China will have it all to do. We'll be back in a few moments.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018. Your curling oasis awaits.
co nejdál, pojď co nejdál.
5-4, to kousneš, pojď.
Well, it was
Okay,
a very
Gladys.
close game up until that last stone landed in the fourth end. Now Czech Republic with a 3-point lead. With that steal of 2, China will have to try and generate some offense here in the fifth end. Would like to score 2 back before the halftime break. Ma Jingyi throw the corner and also help out with the sweeping. Maybe feeling a bit shy for weight on this one. Big team scrub needs to creep over that red line called the hog line to be in play. And in the end, the weight not too bad, but perhaps hold tight to the center line.
A guard in that position is quite useful as well. You could draw around both ways around that guard. Because sometimes when it's too wide, you can't draw around the outside. So that gives them options.
Clara Spatanova trying to come around her own stone here in the top 12. Gets about edge to edge there, top of the 8.
10秒 ，OK。
Not going too aggressive here, Team China. Could play the straight draw around the corner or just tap things around a little bit, but still looking for that hit and roll. This one over curling big, and it's a good call by Wang Bingyu to let that one go and over curl get to the second red. But that's still a big miss there. Not even close to what was called, and China not quite looking like themselves. Rona.
No, they're just struggling a wee bit today with the ice. Haven't quite got to grips with it yet.
See Latvia, Germany, they're tied at 2. We're in the fourth end. Iveta Stasas-Arsune with what looks like a delicate little tap for perhaps 3 points here. I believe already lying 1. She needs to move the Yellowstone top of the 8 a foot or so and spin the shooter in off and on all the way down the sheet here. Looks pretty close. Just needs a wee nudge here. Will get it and sticks around in the back of the 8 foot, I believe. A really good shot for 3 points. That's another peach from the Latvian skip. Made that great tap back through the port in the first end and delivers the goods once again here in the fourth. 5-2 for Latvia. And that could be a bit of an upset in the first draw, but still a way to go for the Latvians.
Czech Republic just trying to take this yellow off and roll over to keep it open. Actually just giving China another corner guard now. China are 3 down, they'll be happy to plug away here and try and get their 2. Just seem to be catching stones just in the wrong side today.
Denmark plays Italy. And it's Denmark trailing by 1. Madeleine Dupont with the last rock here. Looking to score a couple of points. On the sweep here, it looks pretty good. Nice nose hit there by the Danish skip. And 2 counters, 2 points for the Danes. 3-2 after 4 rounds of play.
Okay.
15秒，行，就是擦一擦。
嗯，4、5、6。
行，4、5、6。
So China just deciding to come round this corner guard. See if they can bury.
5、4、K， up， 线路 K， 下线，下线，看力了，进来啊！3、4 ，OK， 踩，加油，线路非常好，嗨，小马走，小踩，加油，加油，老建议
Working this one really hard to try and get it buried. Just didn't finish behind cover. Czech Republic will probably be able to see half that stone.
Okay.
It's the same big line, so she's played quite a down weight though, so it might come enough at the end to catch it.
Not quite, just bumps it a hair. We've seen, you know, the stones are curling fairly well on draws, but you know, as soon as you up your weight a little bit, it starts to run a little straighter. And I believe it's slightly unforgiving here. You pop it all too much, it's not going to come back on you. Doesn't seem to be a lot of frost in the building, so it doesn't have that overly aggressive curl you see sometimes when there's humidity problems. Looking quite clean, looking very nice. So important for players, I think, to just have a good, nice, clean release.
It's important here for China to come round, not leave a double on the yellows, and try and cover the inside of that.
That's a nice draw there by Shaw Yen.
先往这边选，我看那边选不进去，然后人家。Bychom mohli dát 11 stolem dovnitř, si myslím, vidíš.
Takže kolik?
11.
11?
Jo.
Yeah, both those Chinese players have been at the last 2 Olympic Games as lead and skip. Bronze medalists in 2010 and 7th place in 2014, so they'll be desperate to get back to move their way up the rankings.
Yep.
So a lot of experience in this Chinese team.
Not too many get the chance to play the Olympics three times.
No, definitely not. But here's Czech Republic, who want to get to their first Olympic Games, so...
Yeah, I was going to say not many get to play the Olympics whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So wanting this one to curl, gets to nose.
Ski.
Sit for second shot as we look from the hack here, and you see it's just slightly buried, so won't get to the inside here, China. Denmark, Italy once more. Denmark up by 1. This is I believe a draw just for the single point here for Diana Gaspari. Had a great week at the Europeans, and we'll be looking to bring that momentum into this week. This one's curling, perhaps actually a tap for 2 here. It doesn't quite have enough weight. Just stops on the tee line there. And no measure. It's just the 1 point. So a bit of a missed opportunity by Gasquari, but tight game there. Coming into the halftime break. And overall, many tight games this afternoon.
This needs to be in for second shot though for China. They're going to have to work it. That's a poor shot from China.
Jsou lepší než ten náš.
Wonder if they're even third shot, are they?
It's pretty close.
It might just be. It's hard to tell.
So it gives Czech Republic an opportunity to remove this yellow stone in lie 2. Force China to take their 1. It's these key shots, Andrew, at this level that you can't afford to make. You've got to make them. You can't afford to hit and roll out or not make that draw to lie 2. As we say, the bread and butter shots of curling.
Ale to bylo na druhou stranu.
Netáhla, já vím, no. Když tak byl ten červený prostě za ty jardy. Jo. Protože ten žlutý je horší než ten jeden červený.
Jo.
A než ten druhý už ne.
So you'll see where the broom is placed. Taking quite a lot of ice here, so you'll expect this to be a fairly downweight shot.
Oh,
Bring the
čistý.
sweepers into play, make sure shooter sticks around. This one taken off early though. So Danyavad trying to hold it past the guard.
Oh, easily.
Just past it. And will push this Yellowstone, not even through the house, but probably far enough. So that's a good shot there. Probably through not quite as much weight as planned. But Klana Svatanyova did a great job holding the line for her skip.
Yeah, they really swept it hard the whole way.
Pliskova joining in the end here to try and get that Yellowstone far enough.
She played a really nice tap back weight.
Oof. That is ever so close to the guard. We'll have a great look here. Just squeaks past.
But she'd actually played such a nice weight that if she had caught the top guard, her shooter would have rolled into the house, which was a good call.
So it will just be the draw here for Wang Bingyu. All the out turn, needing a good piece of the forfeit here for the single point to keep her in the game. Bit of panic now as the sweepers are working this hard from coast to coast. And Cho Yen, vice skip, comes out to help. Can they drag it far enough to score the single? I don't think they can. Just enough for second shot. It's another steal for the Czech Republic, as they have now scored in 3 consecutive ends. And just running away with the game. 5-1 now for the Czechs after 5 ends of play, and China will have it all to do as the teams now head off the ice for halftime break. But we'll have some highlights for you before that. 6th end comes into play. Czech Republic, China in the women's first session. In the 3rd end, Anna Koveshkova With a draw to score 1. Third single in a row. Means they're leading it 2-1 coming into the 4th end. Czechs are line 2 before Chinese skip. Wang Bingyu tries a delicate little tap here to score a single, but over curling, catching the inside of her yellow and leaving the 2 counters still in the forfeit. A big steal for the Czechs. It would be 4-1 up before the 5th end. And again facing trouble, Team China, as they have to draw against a couple of red counters. There was a big sweep early on from the front end to try and drag it far enough by skip. Cho Yen comes out in a desperate attempt to drag it far enough, but doesn't get there. Another steal for the Czechs. 5-1 after 5 ends. And here are the halftime scores. You'll see Latvia up by 3 after Germany after 5 ends. Denmark, Italy actually played 6 ends so far, and it's a tied game. Or they're in the 6th end rather. And of course our game, a 5-1, looking like a landslide win for the Czechs. They'll be quite happy.
Byl vidět celý, nehrozilo tam nic moc. Ten druhý už se moc nepovedl.
No a pak ten můj výsledek nevyzatočil vůbec.
Druhý kornguard, to bylo blbý.
To ještě se teď udělal dost chyb, že na začátku ty interny vlastně taky nevycházely, že přetočila hrozně moc.
Certainly Karel Kubeska having the easier job of the 2 sides here. Tan Weidong will have tough job here. Here's a couple of stats for you. See the percentages does reflect the scoreboard pretty nicely. 83% in total for the Czechs versus China's 67. They've been better overall, really. And of course, the stolen points is what really stands out. Wang Bingyu haven't been able to keep China in the game with the last rocks. Do you think China will be able to turn the game around, Rona?
I would hope so. 5 ends is certainly enough time to get a 2, force a 1, get a 2, force a 1, take a 2. Thanks for the game. Simple. But no, I think China have just struggled in that first 5 ends with getting the stone positioning. You know, they're hitting and rolling out the wrong way, or just struggling with draw weight. So you never know, they could come out fighting strong in this second 5. Certainly a team with a lot of experience, they know how to fight back.
Yes, I'm sure they've trailed in games before, so it's all about keeping a cool head and just grind away, get some stones in play, score that 2, and you know, if you're lucky, you might be able to even score a 3 back, and all of a sudden it's game on. So we're going to keep it going here. 6th end of the first women's draw, Olympic qualification event 2017. It's all about qualifying for the Olympic Games. Last chance here this week in Pilsen, Czech Republic, and West Bohemia. And this is a corner guard from Team China. This one needs to stop in the free guard zone, but it will not. It will slip into the rings, and that's just unforgivable, Rona.
It is. By the 6th end of the game, you know, the lead should really know what the weight is. And, you know, it's so important for the lead to have the draw weight.
Well, Klara Savathanyeva has been on point so far with 89%, and will get to throw a rare hit, being a lead, and we'll stick around. You know, you'll see the ice makers in the halftime will bring the big mop out and mop the sheet, and also put a wee bit of pebble around the hat. And sometimes both those things that just kind of remove some debris and frost, and sometimes quickens the ice a little bit. And you might just get caught out on that fact, but you'd think with an experienced team like Team China, they should anticipate that and
absolutely
perhaps just throw it 4 feet shorter, bring the sweepers into play. She's able to adjust here though. But now the free guard zone is no longer in play, and the Czech Republic will be able to play the peel. Of course, we'll be moving on to the 5-rock rule next season. So, in this situation, the Czechs would still not be allowed to remove the guards, but for now and the rest of the season, that will be the rule, 4-rock rule, which we've had for quite some time.
Yeah, it'll be exciting with 5-rock rule coming in. We'll see a lot more stones in play. The tactics will certainly become a lot more interesting.
It'll be tougher to defend a lead, that's for sure.
Definitely.
We'll see Liu Jin Lee with a bit of a struggle so far at 63%.
As we've seen here, you know, just because China put that first stone in the house, it changes the whole dynamic of the end, because it means the Czech Republic can start peeling a lot earlier, and you know, it's a very clean end rather than having the guards in place. So yeah, 5-rock rule will be an interesting one next year to see how all the teams play it tactically.
If anything, I'll give the lead a second chance to throw the corner. As we see Teresa Pliskova just having a superb game at 98% so far, and makes another great one here. Kills the corner, makes it look easy.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that percentage so far in her first game.
Looking happy anyway.
A wee wry smile. China definitely look the more solemn of the two teams at the moment. We just have to keep plugging away and get a corner guard up and hope for an error from the Czech Republic.
Now when you play a championship, the Europeans, you would have 10 teams at the Worlds, 12 or even 13 this season. With only 7 teams this week, every game's just worth a tad more than you're used to.
Absolutely, there's no room for error. You know, the ladies have got 6 games, the men have got 7 games, and it's so important to get off to a good start. And you know, one error in a game and that could cost you. You know, every competition you play, you know, you're playing for that first place, the medals and everything else, but you know, nothing beats the feeling for these teams to win this week to qualify for an Olympic Games. Not just for them, but their member association, for their countries. It's a massive thing.
I think we certainly saw that in Pilsen 4 years ago. There was quite a lot of celebration, especially from the home team, Germany. And of course, we're looking forward to the same emotions and everything this weekend when it all comes to a close, but we'll have lots of interesting games before we get to that part.
Yeah, because it's interesting, men and ladies. You know, some countries are here with both. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. Oh, and an error from Czech Republic.
Alžběta Bagashova just overthrowing that one a little bit.
Shaking her head. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Well, you hate to give your opponent a little bit of hope when they're feeling down, but hope is exactly what they'll have now, Team China. They have something to play around with, a corner guard to come around.
And this is a key shot that she can get round and bury here. Pretty good effort. You won't be able to see it all.
Ale jako double.
That was a good sweep. Came pretty close to the guard as well. It's almost fully buried. I'm not sure if the call was just to play the hit and roll, or if they're looking to run this back and make the double, or both even. 80% for Annika Beskova so far. Those numbers will win you a few games this week. See how this comes off. Does run it back. I'm not sure if that was the way they were looking to make it, but they'll be happy with the result. Yeah. Even roll the shooter a little bit towards the bumper, so less room to come around for China. And I think they won't be ignoring the stone in the forfeit anymore. Or is it the draw, perhaps, after all? Sometimes it's hard to call in the broom. It's in that spot. It does look like a hit. 50% for Wang Bingyu. Just not quite where she wants to be. A bit of a rough one, and this one is over curling as well. Just getting it started early. This one's going to roll out too. Will allow the Czechs to come around the corner if they so wish and force China to the single point. We'll have a second look at the throw here. Just a little bit soft, perhaps.
Just kind of soft release, and when it's on the centre line, it just takes off quite quickly.
You mentioned how you don't want to throw them too hard, pop them too hard, but you can't be too soft either.
No, you need a happy medium. It's just that positive release, but not over positive that you're spinning the stone, so there's too much rotation, but also not a soft release because it's going to over curl. So that's why a positive release is just important.
The most important thing is just consistency, though, I think.
Absolutely. And everybody's going to release slightly different, but as long as the skip knows how their players release, then they can ice accordingly. But as you say, it's consistency, doing the same thing time and time again. This is looking very heavy.
Yeah, that's not even close at all. That's a good 2 feet through the house. And the house is 12 feet. Your sweeper could probably drag it easily 4-6 feet, no problem. So not sure if you just wanted to give our sweepers a break.
No, I don't think so. I think that was an error.
So there's a blank house for Wang Bingyu. Doesn't have to do much here than just throw it through. Last stone of the sixth end. Or is it?
then she might be taking it.
A draw for the one. Well, it is the even end, and they are sort of running out of time, and hasn't really worked out for them with the hammer, so thinking maybe to take the one here and try their hand at stealing instead. Sometimes teams will do that.
Yeah, because it means they get the opportunity to go first, and their lead can hopefully put them short. And
yep, get a couple of guards in play, and that's 1 point for China. Finally, but trailing by 3 after 6.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018. Your curling oasis awaits.
China to throw the first stone here in the 7th end after choosing to take a single point. Had the option to blank, but feeling like putting a point up on the board and trying their hand at stealing.
Yep.
And of course stealing being scoring without the last one advantage. And we'll throw a couple of center guards and bring the play along the center line as Clara Satanyova will come around here, try and take control of the forefoot. Looking to place this maybe top of the 4, top of the 8. Just hanging out there at the moment. Leaves it in a usable spot. Denmark, Italy, it's been a tight game. 3 each. There's just a cluster of stones in the house here for Madeleine Dupont. The intern here, last stone. Looks like perhaps a draw for 2. Already lying the 1. Not sure if she'll curl enough to get to the edge of the button. No. So just over ice a little bit there. Perhaps afraid of pushing up that yellow stone top 4 for steal. So it's only the 1 point for Denmark. They will lead the game 4 shots to 3. That could be an exciting finale over there. As we see China throwing out our center guard. So they've got those lined up fairly well with some good separation. And Satanyova will come around once more, but this time a little bit deep. So building up nicely for China here to get something going. As we take a look at all the scores in the Kossuth Arena this afternoon. Latvia is really getting a grip on Germany in this game. 6 shots to 2. Latvia maybe being the underdog in the competition. One of the B group teams from the European Championships. But they're certainly proving themselves here in the first game.
yeah, China's got 2 good guards here, so they really want to get round onto the forefoot with this.
Nice weight, doesn't get fully buried, but I don't think you'll see the Czechs come after it. They'll try and rip these guards off as soon as they can. So they are very nicely lined up, but close enough together that you could make the double here and try and roll the shooter off a foot or two. Big extension here from Teresa Pliskova. Can really throw the heat. And it goes 1-2. That's a nice double, and does leave the shooter just off the center line. So she's just keeping up. She's having a great game today.
Yeah, that was a really nice double peel there. She has left a guard, but we'll not worry too much about that. So China also need to be careful here. You know, they took their one at the last end, so they're going for the big steal here. They can't afford to lose a big end, a 2 or a 3, so they've got to be careful.
Do you think by this point it's all or nothing for China?
Well, 7th end, no, you know, there's still 4 ends to play, 7, 8, 9 and 10, so, you know, if they force the 1 here, they're only 4 down, 3 ends to go, so that's doable. To get a 2 twice with last stone advantage, so, you know, I don't think there's any need to panic, but they've got to be careful they don't lose a 3 here, or then the game really is out of their control.
They left a gap for Pliskova. I'm not sure if you want to leave anything for her today. She's been on point, but this one maybe over curling and not looking too happy with this one. So.
See, commentators curse again. But, you know, second best option, she cleared the front and took the guard off, so they won't be bothered with that.
China will just keep guarding this yellow shot stone here.
Yeah, good shot there. Nice smooth release there.
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Promiň.
Taky jsem se bála.
Did leave another guard, but opened up the centre, so that was the main priority there.
Sorry. Dobrý.
Taking a lot of ice for this guard. You see Cho Yen really throwing it fairly, quite a lot of rotation, a bit of an inside out motion, so he'll track for a long time before finally making a move. Ends up in a nice spot.
Yeah, China just have to keep replacing these guards and hope that they get an error from the Czech Republic, but at the moment there's not a lot of errors from them. Peels that away.
Okay. Pardon. Dobrý.
Latvia, Germany. On the other side of the V-net today, it's Daniel Jench with looks to be a hit for 1.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Trailing by 4. Really has to make this one to stay in the game. No surprise they're playing the hit rather than the draw, but the hit is made, and she'll just stick around for the 1. And it's a 6-3 game in favour of Latvia. You know, when you see a skip opt for a hit like that rather than the draw, it's often a sign of a lack of confidence, maybe.
Yeah, she's maybe just more confident with hitting on the nose than her draw weight today. So China just trying to replace this centre guard, slipping a wee bit further than they had wanted, but it's not bad there.
Tak to vůbec nevadí. Můžeme hrát prostě jenom clearing. A ona bude přemýšlet, jestli má hrát to stejný, protože tohle jako není zase tak jednoduchý. Nebo ty jsi to chtěla hrát takhle?
Tak 8 takhle.
A jako clearing, jo? Primárně. Jo.
I'm sure Kubeshkova will be tempted to make the run back here, try and get some contact on the shot stone.
Kolik hraješ?
8. Asi primárně jenom clearing.
If she just takes off the tight center and the guard comes back, she'll probably have to make a tap up on the red stone for the single point.
Yeah, and Czechs know they've always got that red stone there to use, so they won't be too worried right now.
Don't think this is going to make the double, but I'll just take the guard off, and then we'll see what China opts to do, if they want to come into the house here and lie 2, or just throw the guard again.
What would you like to see them do here?
Ne, tak nízko.
I wouldn't mind throwing the guard. That tap up is not a gimme shot for Kubeshkova to score the one. What they are looking for is the hit and roll here. I think they were saying hit and roll and try and get maybe half checked around the guard, try and stagger all the yellows, which would be pretty good, but it's a tougher shot for sure. I don't think you're stealing 2 in this end either way, so I'm not sure if it's really worth it. It might just make it easier for the Czechs. And this will roll a bit too far. I don't think even to sit for second shot here, so... does it spin back?
Maybe. Don't know if it's enough or not, but certainly leaves Czech with an open hit now to score a 1, so she'll be happy. I think there China had to make the Czech Republic play the harder shot, which was.
I'm gonna say red.
It's pretty close. I think it does look like red though, that's second. But you know, I think there, if China had put up the guard, it left the Czech Republic with a much harder shot. She's got a kind of fairly straightforward nose hit here.
And this now last stone, 7th end for Anna Kubeshkova, could be for 2 as well. And certainly a score of 2 would just put the game away, I think. This one will catch it a little bit too high, roll out, so it's a question now if they are lying shot stone.
One red.
I do think they agree, so 1 red after all. So not too bad for the Czechs. They could have scored 2, but 1's good enough as they lead 6-2 after 7 ends of play. welcome back to Pilsen, Czech Republic. Just an hour west of the capital, Prague. We're all gathered for this Olympic qualification event. And it's the home nation of Czech Republic that's come off to a good start here versus one of the favourites in the field, China. 6-2 after 7 ends of play. It's a long way back for the Chinese. They have hammer here in the 8th end.
Okay. Up.
And we see some animated characters. St. Nicholas night, I think.
Yep. The locals ready to party early and to support their team first.
No, 6, 5. Možná až u něj.
Zatím jsem na tom dál. Až u něj. Určitě až u něj.
Please.
Betty, já potřebuju.
Betty, hodně jsem na
Go!
So just trying to tip the corner guard. They can't remove it out of play, so she was just trying to move it to the side a bit and roll over, which just didn't really move it a huge amount, but it has taken it away from the centre line, or near the centre.
See the player comparisons here for the leads. Svatanyeva with an advantage, edging out her opponent. But, not a terrible game from Ma Jingyi. Biggest mistake was probably throwing the corner guard into the rings in the 6th end.
And she's put up 2 nice corner guards at this end.
Leaves an angle, but probably just a bit too flat for the double, I think. But Pliskova has been making some good ones today. I'll be happy to just field the one. Slow and steady wins the race.
Absolutely, they just want to keep things clear and don't try to be too clever.
And here we see Pliskova at a very solid 91% with Liu Jinli at 66.
It's a big difference for the second players.
Coming around the corner guard here, Liu Jinli, as we take a look at Denmark, Italy. It's a close one over there. And at the moment it's Denmark with quite a few counters in around the 12th foot. Diana Gaspari, skip of Italy, will need just a bit of the 8th foot here to score the single point and tie the game up. Sweeper's looking pretty happy with this one, just controlling it down all the way into the 1 foot actually. Nice draw by the experienced skip. It's 4 each after 7 ends of play. Still very open between the Danes and the Italians. As Pliskova peels that stone on the back ring. And China will once more try and come around the corner.
Yeah, they're trying to put up guards, they're trying to come round, they're trying to put the pressure on to Czech, but they're just peeling everything out.
Calling this tad heavy here. Not coming down. Just nowhere close to the guards of Rona. Good foot and a half.
Our weight really wasn't too bad, but it just, they're not grasping the line at all. I don't know whether in the pre-game practice the ice was a wee bit swingier and it's fooled them a bit, but they're just struggling to get the cover.
Yeah, maybe seemed to straighten out just a little bit throughout the game. Which is not, it's not that abnormal, really.
So, China are really trying hard to gamble to get their 2 here. But she's also got to watch the front still blocked for her to come in.
The Czechs will hang around there. I'm not sure if that was wanted. It's actually a stone China could use now to play a corner freeze. Use it as backing. Might be harder for the Czechs to remove this yellow on the next one.
Plenty of weight on it, she doesn't want to split off it. Unlucky, she wanted just to nestle on top of that and freeze it rather than... And then gives Czech Republic an open hit.
You see Shoyan actually outplaying Alžběta Bardešová at the 3rd position. And she has had a bit of a scrappy game so far. The Czech 3rd. Had a couple of draws come up short early in the game. But makes a couple of good ones here and make sure there's no Chinese counters in the house before the the last of 3rd rocks from Shoyan. Looking for a hit and roll here. Maybe looking to hit and roll Frozen. Just caught in between everything and leaves it in the open. Have not been able to put enough pressure on the Czechs today, Team China.
Ale myslím si, že když to budeme hrát odsaď, takže se tam ten
things
kámen
hard for
vejde.
themselves and
tak jo, tak.
Just left very many easy shots for their opponent.
Tak můžeme hrát sem.
Yeah, they've really not asked the question of,
tady, no.
you know, the Czech skip today because it's one of these games, the harder you try, the worse it's becoming for China and their stone positioning, they just can't get anything going.
Jako když to bude stay, jako ten double tady tam furt bude, že jo, ale nemusela...
No tak ať se ho hodí, jako.
China just need to score 2 with last stone.
Jo,
okay.
Směrem sem, jakmile zůstanu tady, tak je tady podle mě prostě double,
triple, no. Jo.
Takhle 9.
A bit of discussion here. I think playing the hit on the yellow all day, it's just a matter of where they roll to. Just wanting to make the most out of every shot here, the Czechs.
Yeah, because their stone that's actually in the 1 foot, it's pretty well guarded. So they don't want to roll over and punch it out.
What is the ideal spot to roll to, you think?
Ideally, they could hit and roll behind the corner guard and keep away from the centre. The last thing she wants to do is leave a double on her reds, because her one on the 1 foot's good.
Pardon. Pardon, to jsem zkazila.
Doesn't look too bad.
It's pretty good. Half stone more, actually. I would have been giving it a wee sweep. But, you know, because the one that's on the 1 foot's in a great position for her. So the last thing she wanted to do was go the other way and nudge that off the 1 foot. So it's certainly China's, you know, they're facing 4. How are they going to get a 2 out of this?
Definitely going to have to move that shot stone. Probably
Maybe they'll come round it just a wee back 4 weight and tap that back.
Yep, I don't really see much else. Certainly tough to outdraw that stone as it lies. So
yeah, she can never outdraw it. So if she just comes round and taps it back. Oh, the coach. Coach is getting all the evidence for the team debrief afterwards. Oh, it must be cold up in the coach's head. Karol Kubeska's got his hood up. So Karol is Anna's father. He himself has skipped for the Czech Republic at the European Championships, won the B division. So he'll be happy with his daughter's performance today.
It's a great start for the Czechs. A win here could draw some crowds too. The local population starts hearing about the Czechs winning games. They might want to come and join in the party.
So she is just trying to come around and just tap this back off the button.
That's a pretty good effort, I'd say. It's hard to do much more than that. To see the skip numbers here. Kubešková outplaying Wang, Pingyu. Does leave the yellow almost fully open. Just about edge to edge with that stone nibbling the top of the 12 foot, so she'll have to throw a controlled weight here and try and get as close to nose as possible. She'll have to catch it pretty high to jam in on the red stone back four. No need to flirt too much with that stone top 12.
No. Kind of were unlucky there that the shooter actually did roll out, because she played a nice tap back weight, but just put it into the open a wee bit.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. 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 Terka. Hodně terka.
Pojď. Having to need to curl a little bit here. They'll jam it. How far do they spin the L? I think just far enough. Just good enough for Kubešková. That was looking a little bit dicey. Sometimes you throw a rock and you know, your right skip wants to sweep. The sweepers don't get the time to call the weight. And if it's just a tad heavy, it's not going to run the same way as you're expecting. And that was happening right there.
Yeah, both Skip and Bib were wanting to sweep at the beginning, but then it maybe just didn't pull as much as they had hoped. And she did the desired job. She lay two after it, so.
Yes, and certainly no double on for China here, so they'll just have to draw and try and pick up a single point. Failed to score multiple in the entire game, and even with this made, they'll be trailing by 3. But last stone here, 8th end, must make to keep China in the game from Wang Bingyu. Sweeper's not a brush to it, but it will settle very nicely down in the button, so that's a nice draw. And a bit of a rest for the sweepers. It will be 1 for China. Czech Republic is up 6-3 after 8.
Měřili jste to?
6-3, máme výhodu před poslední end.
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018, your curling oasis awaits.
The Czech girls have all the reason to be happy with their performance so far today. We're up 6-3 with 2 ends to go here. Unless we get an extra end, that is. China could come back. You'll see the scoreboard. Only 3 singles up on the board for China. They've failed to produce any multiple scores. And also given away a couple of steals. So the game is all to lose for the Czechs. And just make the simple shots well here. That should be good enough to put a W up on the board. As Klára Čatáňová plays his in-turn draw. Just wanting this to nestle into the top 4. Not slip in behind the tee, but it will. And that's actually a pretty bad spot for the first one there, Rona.
Yeah, it's not ideal. You would rather it was top tee so that China aren't able to freeze it, but yeah, there'll be a long way to go with some guards yet though before they get to that one in the house. Now, China don't have last stone here. They will just try and jump up the front as much as they possibly can.
China would have to steal 2 points in one of these 2 ends.
Which, when they haven't been able to generate a 2 when they've got last stone, I think is quite a tall order.
We'll see. I've seen crazier things happen in curling. At the moment, you don't think the Czechs will unravel. Looking pretty solid.
Yeah, they are.
Čatáňová coming around the guards again here. This time wanting to make sure she's in front of the tee line. Might have swept it a foot deep, deeper than needed, but still in a spot where China needs to move it. If they can ever get a little tap, they might have a bit of a nest.
Yeah, ideally because they've got their 2 guards up now, if they can bring this one in and just freeze that red stone in the house at this stage, it would be a great result for them. Because you know Czech are going to go out and peel guards.
Quite an important shot coming up here from Liu Jinli. The big setup shot for them. This one's just not curling enough, and just not getting very good angles there. If you ever play a tap on that yellow now, you'll just see that red stone jam on the second red, and you won't even get shot stone. So
yeah, she played a really nice weight there. It just didn't curl enough. So the Czech know that they can't peel both the guards, so they're taking the one that they feel is the biggest danger. But she actually took the top one. She was going to go for the centre one there because that would cause more danger for her. But they'll be happy they've taken a guard off.
Certainly the tolerance for the shot, rather than blast by everything. And make contact with that yellow in the house. Spill your reds. Go Jinli. I think just replacing the guard here, but this one's looking a little bit pacey. Sweeper's backing off it. I think we've seen that a lot today. Quite a few draws that haven't been swept. I think the ice is just a little quicker than teams have been used to lately.
Absolutely, you know, that stone really needed to be short.
I'm sure they were coming into the house with that. I hope that wasn't a guard.
Well, she had indicated a guard initially, but they really need to junk up the front as much as they can to try and put the pressure onto the Czech Republic, because they're just going to peel this guard off now, and then China have got no cover.
Nice slash double by Pliskova, gets the guard off. And the one on the back is just a wee bonus.
When it's going for you, it will go for you. Working this guard hard to try and finish it and curl at the end.
Hek, klidně! Už tak vemeš guard, to je OK.
So, Czech Republic are saying they can see a lot of that stone, so just playing a hack weight to tap it back.
Wow! Čistí! Čistí!
Sweeping this one really hard to hold it past the front one.
Flips the guard in the end, just over curling. I think that's probably fine. Just as it lies in the forfeit there, it's just not very favourable for China. The angles, it's hard to get to. I think if the Czechs move that yellow, it'd be almost easier for China to come in there and play all tap on the reds, sit frozen. There's no obvious shot here for China to make in the end, I think. We have to make a play on those reds, try and move it up a little bit.
Yeah, they're almost better tapping their own yellow at an angle to freeze on the red, because it's the only way they could get anything frozen.
Well, interesting to see what the next call is from China. I'm sure they're going to have to make a play into the house.
Peeled that well.
Yep, nice shot there. And while we wait for China's decision, we'll take a look at Denmark, Italy. DuPont with a draw to score 2 here. Needing
Right to go, Adning! Denise!
just a full forfeit here.
Come, Rafia!
2 points right here could be really big in the 8th end and a tighter score.
Come, Romana, then a goal!
Sister Denise closer to the camera here, just working this one in there, looking pretty good. Settles down just back of 4, almost overswept it, but I think that's good enough for 2, and 6-4 in favour of Denmark. So big advantage for the Danes as we have 2 ends to go.
Super.
So looking like China now are just going to hit this. I'll tap it back anyway.
Tough shot here, having to come very close to your own yellow. Actually looking to punch the red stone, I think, in behind their own yellow top 4. I wonder if that was the call all along. It's not too bad, actually.
That makes it harder for them to remove.
As you can see, they were wanting to catch this little high side and squeeze that red stone in behind that yellow. Pretty good result in the end. Beshkova will make a play on that yellow stone top 4. Catch it thin enough, you might get both the yellows going.
Yep.
She probably won't mind catching her Redstone back 4 as well, just rip everything open.
She'll be quite happy if that would go as well, and then there's nothing there for China to freeze. Big extension to get some weight.
Just jamming it. She's able to squeeze it far enough though for the Czechs to set second shot. But China with a good chance here to finally put a little bit of pressure on Kubeshkova.
Yeah, she just caught too much of that stone.
Timeout called by China, and team coach Tan Weidong coming out. Will be allowed some walking time before the 60 seconds starts ticking away.
现在在想，要么是6区这块往这块顶着1个2个牵制他，然后要么是把这个打定3分带他打，就考虑多球。对，做球让他投。
我比较喜欢这儿，他要打的话，这个还有相关球。嗯。
你可以稍稍往这边立一点，往这侧一点。
你就投在这块就行，投在中线这块就行。
对，
就让他打就可以。这块这个位置吧。反正这几局这个思维就是打偏多一点，投偏少一点。
没有关系，就打在那了，你给他打就打没相关系，打没相关系。现在不球对他来说是很轻的事儿，打了他不会打你整个一个跟打1米的意思，他没有关系。这不管这个就放那个，刚才你刷那位置。
还有40多秒，来了一半。
So I'm not sure if your Mandarin's on the best, Rona, but what kind of options do you think they've been discussing here?
Yeah, it's a key shot really, because they've got to leave it in a position that they'll lie to. But it's not an easy shot for the Czech Republic to remove. So really the discussion is, you know, it's looking at that, it's tempting to hit the red out and lie 3, but that's not going to help them steal. So I think just looking top of the forefoot, so that if Czech nosed it, they wouldn't lie short, is probably the best call, but I'm not sure if that's... Yeah, I think going by what they're indicating.
Can even afford to slip a little bit into the forfeit here. Maybe halfway into the forfeit with this draw. Ideally. And they overcooked it.
Oh, maybe a millimetre
just,
or 2.
Yeah, maybe just an inch too far. I wonder if the Czechs can play the hit now, nose hit to score 1. So just overswept. You leave that an inch shorter, it's a much tougher shot for Kubeshkova. Then she might have to play the hit and roll off the winger or play the cool draw.
Yeah, so if you're the Czech skip right now, you're happy if you've got a nose hit to play. You're a lot more comfortable playing that shot. So that was unfortunate that China just took that fractionally too far.
You might want to try and just roll it slightly towards the centre line to be safe. But I think nose would just be enough here. We'll see. Last on of the 9th end. Czechs are up by 3. This would be up by 4 before the 10th end. Starting to curl here. Certainly do roll, but roll too far. And it's a steal of 1 for China.
1 yellow.
Well,
1 yellow.
Would have liked 2, but 1's something. And we will see another end in play here. 6-4 for the Czechs. We return shortly for the 10th end.
加油！
时间赶趟。哎，不是，那是钉里头的。
There's a great look at the scoreboard after 9 ends of play. The home team with a strong hold, with a 2-point lead and last stone advantage coming into the 10th and, well, perhaps the final end. Of course, China could steal 2 here and push the game into an extra, but they certainly need to make all their shots here. A good start by Ma Jingyi to throw the tight center guard. And now it's Klára Zlatáňova's time to shine. Tick shot will be applied here, Rona.
Yeah, it's certainly a shot that the Leeds have got to master, because it can make such a huge difference in the end of a game. Can't remove the stone out of play, so just tick it to the side.
When did we see this type of shot first being applied to the sport?
But it's funny because when the rule came in initially, just missed it. When the rule came in initially, a lot of people didn't play the tick. They would draw around it or draw to the wing. And I would say only recently in the last couple of years that the Leeds have really mastered that tick shot to open up the house, because the skips themselves see what a difference it is for their last stone of the end. So yeah, I think it's been mastered in the last couple of years to do that, but now when the 5-rock rule comes in, that'll all, you know, that could all change again. Who knows what tactics we'll see with the 5-rock rule coming into play. I think you'll see more stones coming around, because you can't. Can you tick 3 stones in a row? I know you could, Sam, with your capabilities, but it's a lot to play 3 ticks one after the other.
Well, the tick shot is called again here for Zlatáňová, just overthrowing the first one. This one on the in-turn side, so maybe not the preferred rotation for the soft peel, but this one is closer, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Does take the yellow stone into the house, but they'll be quite happy with that. It's all about just keeping the center open here, so that's a good effort.
Yeah, it's a good result.
China does have a guard, will be able to throw another one, and they do have a counter in the house, so could actually come into play. If ever Kubeshkova misses a draw or perhaps rolls out on a takeout, that could be the stone that pushes the game into the extra. So China perhaps feeling like they'll have a chance here. This is when some nerves can start to creep into the minds of the Czech players.
That's a nice guard there. Yeah, and you know, this is where in the game the mindset is important, and it doesn't matter whether it's the 10th end or the first end of a game. You know, you know how to play the shot, so play it. Doesn't matter, it's the 10th end.
Latvia has been giving Germany quite a lot of trouble so far in the game. Daniela Jentsch, skip of Germany, is looking to score a couple points back here, trailing by 4. There's a hit. Try and just do that. the double and sticks it for 2. Great shot there by Jensch to pull back a little bit, but have still quite a lot of work to do to turn this game around for the Germans.
Yeah, we've just seen here Czech Republic were peeling the guard and took the one out of the house as well. So they've removed 2 Chinese counters.
Yeah, another great slash double there by Plešková. It's always a bit of a relief for Skip, isn't it? Just knowing that you don't have to face too many counters with your last one. You'd hate to play against the game on your last one here.
But that's what the Skips get paid the big money for. Doesn't matter if they're facing 1 or 4. Draw the forfeit. Simple.
No, the Skips earned more than the other players. Is that how it works when you were playing Ronan?
It's just a saying, honestly. I wish we did get paid the big bucks. So Czech Republic just clearing that quite nicely. So China in a bit of trouble here, trying to steal a 2.
And they're definitely going to have to get a mistake or 2 from the Czechs here. Just throw the guard. And the Czechs just keep peeling the guards. They're just going to have to come in with the last one and sit 2 and hope for a complete miss from Plešková.
I just feel China struggled today just to settle. You know, they've made some good shots, but they're just not, their stone positioning they've struggled with today, and the Czech Republic have just played a solid game.
Wow. Malinko slabší.
Jo, asi dobrý.
Just enough for Alžběta Kvadrašová.
Pardon.
Gaspari with the last stone here in the 9th end. Looks like she's playing a double here. Score 1. I think they're just caught in between the 2 ways to make that double and just going to stuff it. Steal a 1 for Denmark. As they will go up 7-4 after 9. That was a must make from Gaspari. They're going to have a tough time now. It's scoring 3 to put that game into an extra. So Madeleine Dupont looking good for a first win.
So China just replacing the guard. Czech Republic going to clear it, but unfortunately hit the guard on the nose and left a guard with China with 1 behind. So advantage China here a wee bit. They can draw another one right round here.
That's pretty much the worst result they could have gotten there, the Czechs.
14秒，14秒5，6、7、8都行。
14秒5左右。
嗯。
对，14秒，14秒5。行。
啊，14秒，14秒5。
嗯，你刚才投那个就感觉有点涩。
You know what we're saying earlier about the mental side of the 10th end of a game. You know, all through the game, she's peeled very well. So is it in your head? Are you saying, right, I can't nose this?
I think it's easy to think, well, I can't miss the stone completely. Then you go, well, I can't nose it either. And you're stuck in between the 2 thoughts.
Just play the brush and play the weight and it'll be fine.
Yeah. So professional, See if Wang Bingyu can do just that. Throw the right weight here and try at least come half around their own yellow here. Don't want to slip too deep. Want to shrink the scoring area as much as possible for Kubeshkova. This one slips to the back 12 and slightly in the open as well. Let's see what the Czechs choose to do here. Might see a timeout for this one. Might want to think it over. Feel the guard. You know, China's going to be able to lie 3.
Přičemž když to bude jenom
play
clear,
against the game. Timeout is called.
Když to bude jenom clearing, tak
What is she as a skip going to want to have to play with her last stone?
no, když to bude jenom clearing, tak oni tam jako někam hodí ten třetí kámen a nám stačí vyrazit jenom jeden, aby to takhle nebylo. Určitě. Aby to byl extráž, no, aby to jako určitě neprohráli.
Určitě ten rally, že jakoby... To hezký, no.
Jo, ale když to zahraješ třeba komora, krmajka.
A na co si troufáš, no, to je asi dost na tebe, no.
Tak jako kamerám mi přijde takový održku trošku, ne?
To jo, no. To možná zkusil pálit takhle prostě na ten bonus.
Jo, takhle, jako clearing dovnitř, jo.
Vlastně zahraje nějaký draw a ty budeš mít, tady budeš mít hit stay na to, aby si odmazala tamhle ten.
No, my se hit stay známe, jam, tak malej ro.
No, jasně.
Takže bys nehrál ten runback?
Ne, ten
runback bych nehrál,
clear
protože runback opravdu může být problém, jo. Tam skončíme zase tady s kamenem, ale tam přijede třetím. Všechno to bude zatím hrát draw, nějaký jako ne úplně dobrý. Potřebujeme mít prostě hit na to, aby jsme to vyhráli, jako při nejhorším tam bude extra teda, no, pak jo, ale jo, pak si to dobře odsaďte.
Tudy má se, ne?
Takže tohle, jo.
OK.
Looks like the heel on the guard is the call. You like it?
Yeah, I think you've got to play the percentage shot, and you know, if she does remove the guard, they bring a third one in, they may leave you a double. A skip, in an ideal world, likes the 4-foot to draw 2 with her last stone. You know, and she is 2 up. So I think this is a sensible shot to play.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
They were maybe hoping for that to come off the side stone and spin in. Not quite sure if that was on.
You wonder if Anna and her dad always agree at timeouts.
投的话，打定的话基本上就是双飞，是不是？旋进。
Now the question for China is where you put the next one.
旋呢？投呢？
What kind of shot do you want to leave for Kubeshkova?
Do you want to leave her a nose hit? A couple of times she's hit and run today. Do you want to leave her the dead draw? I think I would like to leave her the dead draw. If you tap the yellow up into the 4-foot, she can't nose the top one to get a shot. So if you tap that yellow at the top of the house straight onto the 4-foot, I think you're forcing her to draw for at least second shot.
You're also just trying to come around the stone.
You could, I mean, the thing is, if you come half round it, then it's tempting, but then by coming half round, you might leave an easier double for her. And really, China have struggled today to get their stones finishing in the right place, so my call would be the tap.
It's been a bit of a while since Kubeshkova's thrown a draw as well. She didn't have that draw straight through the house a couple of ends ago. And as you said, she's rolled out on a few hits too. So be interesting to see how the Czech skip deals with the pressure on the next one here. First, Wang Bingyu needs to at least make it to the house, sit 3.
seconds to tap this one up.
It's looking all heavy.
Needs to start curling a wee bit though. She doesn't want. Ah, perfect.
Pretty good actually there.
Yep. So now the question is, does she lift the double? If she just takes the top one off, she knows she's got an extra end. So I think she's probably likely to be happier to go for the hit here.
Would you play the draw?
I think I'd lift the double.
Feels more risk-free anyway.
I think, you know, she's got that cushion, she's 2 up. It'd be different if she's 1 up. But the fact she's got the cushion of being 2 up, absolutely go for the hit.
All right, here we go. Last one, 10th end. Could be
Yeah.
for a first win here. And a great start for the Czech Republic at home. Needs 2 yellows to fly. 1, 2, jams it, stuffs it, and I believe it's a steal of 2 for China. They'll have a second look, but certainly from the overhead, that's what it looks like. And this game will go one more extra end. And you will have to wonder, as the game's slipping away for the Czechs. It's tied at 6 each after 10 ends of play.
我去上个厕所，去吧。还是在那打飞行，反正打最后找到加群了，然后完了选领服尽量抠了，好，这样他最后一个球抠出来。对，好，加油。
Never before in the history of the World Men's Curling Championship has the stage been so spectacular and the backdrop so electric. A never-before opportunity to watch the best of the best on ice and soak up everything else you love about Las Vegas, including the first-ever 9-day pool party. Reserve your place in history now at LasVegasCurling.rocks. Las Vegas 2018. Your curling oasis awaits.
The Danish girls looking quite happy. Good reason, they've just edged out Italy. The first game of the week. Great start for them. The Pont sisters picking up a couple of very young players, but they've done well so far. It'll be interesting to see how they progress through the week. And speaking of interesting progressment and development, I think we've had that in this game. Looks like the Czechs were running away with it early on, and somehow let China back into the game. Steal of 2 there in the 10th end, leaves us in an extra. And the tick shot this time not being applied from the Czechs, thinking maybe that guard is just halfway in behind the hog line and the house, so they'll have a chance at a double. Remembering that Teresa Pliško has been playing pretty great and making all the doubles today. Hoping she can tidy it up for the team.
Okay,
Really want the second stone to stop in front of the house. Doesn't do that. Enters the rings, so the Czechs can make a play, although angles look pretty good. It'll be easy to run that back onto the red stone.
To spíš je čím pomalejším kolem, už tak to bude čip toho prvního, ne?
Okay. Hey. Jo. Jako beru to takhle. Ne,
See Latvia, Germany.
Jo, už tak to bude čip toho prvního.
In the 9th end here, Iveta, Stasa Sarsuna 2 up.
Yep.
Down the last rock. Looks like an open hit for the 1. They're looking pretty happy with it. Even gets the roll in just for show. It's a point on the board for Latvia. They'll be up 3 for the 10th end. And Germany have a tough job ahead of them.
Yeah, with that error from China bringing the guard into the house, Czech Republic have played a lovely shot there to hit and roll and lie to.
Yes, great finesse by Sotaneva. There's a Jin Lee. Plays the in-turn draw here. Try and set something up. Who has the mental advantage in this extra? Is it still the Czechs with the last stone, or are they feeling nervous now, thinking them?
Yeah, I think the nerves could be setting in just because they were in the position in the 10th end, 2 up with the hammer, and then they gave it away. So, you know, now they've got no leeway in the score. They have to score here. So, yeah, I think, you know, both teams are very experienced, but it's who's going to make the most shots in this last end.
2曲啊。
Sweepers are going to have to work this really hard. Oh, that's their workout for the afternoon. Just a wee bit lighter than meant to play, but sweepers work that really hard. Get it over the hog line.
Nevím.
Oh, they're saying we've swept all that way, all that hard work, and you're just going to remove it.
If you never tried sweeping a rock before, just try and sweep a rock coast to coast, back 2 rocks back to back, and it's going to take the wind out of most athletes. So you see a bit of a stumble there by Alžbeta Badršová.
Oh dear, you're lucky she missed a stone. She had.
I think she's
maybe kneeling, praying.
She'll be happy we're showing that replay a few times on the big screen in the arena.
Sweeping this one hard again to get as far as they can onto centre.
Would love to make her Pilsen this end. The Czech third. Remember, she didn't nose that one guard in the 10th and left China with a chance to come around and sit 2. And that proved to be crucial. The setup not as good for China this time, but they do only need to steal the 1.
The thing is, the stones are in the house that they could draw right round to the back of the 4 even. But it's just getting it buried, that's the problem. She's just persevering with the centre guard just now.
They're just waiting for a mistake, or at least just postponing the move they eventually will make, and it could be just to draw around everything. Timeout again. The Czech Republic, you are rewarded a new timeout for the extra end.
To je asi taky úplně jedno.
And 4.5 minutes thinking time.
Yep, that's true.
Jako scénář je jasný, když budeme pořád klírovat, tak prostě přijde draw sem, že jo? Nebo sem třeba.
Tady by bylo horší, protože to už tady nebude tohle.
No, jako to není jednoduchý,
no,
není. To je prostě... To není
no a když zahraju sem teďka kámen, tak ona to prostě jako, když budu tady, tak tam prostě má nějaký jako...
Ale má tady ještě
rolík.
Co dá taky v pohodě zajet.
No, tak jako by v pohodě.
Tak bude tady, no. Co myslím?
No tak já tady pořád mám ty posuny, že jo? No tak jako když to budeme furt klírovat, tak se dostaneme prostě na poslední kámen na nějaký draw na stopu, no. Tak jestli teď neskusit zavřít ten střed, prostě nezahrát někam na 4-5 vedle centru. Bety jeden.
Druhý. 3 kameny ještě. Já myslím, že ještě ne, no. Já myslím, že když teďka dáme clearing, tak budu se budou radit a pak si zkusí už draw, já myslím, že to ještě neskusí, já si myslím, že se ho nechají nakonec.
A když to zkusí, tak my pak?
A když to zkusí, tak bude záležet na tom, kde to je, my to máme červený případně, což je samozřejmě těžký, to tam je. Ona podle mě tudy hrát spíš nebude, bude hrát spíš tudy, jo, což je pro tebe horší o něco, no. Tak bys to musela ty zavřít pak tady z té strany, no. Když zahraje dár, tak ty budeš muset asi hrát.
Když zahraje draw, tak prostě pak už to budeme řešit v kruhu.
Budeš si tam muset nechat prostor prostě na to závěrečný draw.
Jo.
A spíš si to natrénovat teď, než nebo jako main teda prvním, než...
Tak jo, takže já ještě clearing.
Jo,
myslím, že jo.
OK.
Fatherly tap on the shoulder before leaving the field of play. And I believe the consensus is to just peel the guard again here. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's got last stone. The whole left-hand side of the house is wide open to draw at the moment. So you've got to look at what's the danger stone for you right here, and it is this guard. It's the only one that China can bury behind.
Ooh. Slight miss, but rolls it far enough, I think. And now China will call the timeout.
Pardon, dík.
Yeah, I mean, for China, the 2 stones at the top that are half checked, that's good cover for them. So, if they could draw right round, I would imagine that's the call.
你要是先站位的话，还是他一样。
站位的话，他现在有可能他就要该选。
对，他选咱就
他选金的话就只剩这半。
Dan Weidong making his way
这个场地本来弧线
to the other end, so takes all time to walk all the way there.
咱先选一个，还有2个球机会，那样的话咱有1人选。这边过来的话，咋能样？
先选一个。先选一个，然后完了看看往这底区选一个，然后完了他要往这投的话下把粘，到这儿的话也可以，是不是？
这人啊，投这儿。
投这儿的话，他下把就是拿这个找完之后，然后那什么，对我感觉就往下选，主要是以选子为主。我感觉主要是以选子为主，行这一块。可以，行，来吧。14秒，14秒5。
行。我这个量多少钱啊？
记得。
先考这个。14秒，14秒5。
上了一点准时，然后量小好的话，还最后还挺有直线的。
是。
Looks like the draw right round. And then if they can get round here to the back of the 4-foot buried, it would be a great result.
14秒5啊
，14秒5就行，14秒5左右。
Guess the deeper you go, the more cover you'll have. So.
Yeah, in an ideal world, you don't want to be too deep because they can draw on top of you. But you've got to lie short and you've got to be buried. So.
See what Wang Bingyu can do here.
The sweepers are on it early. They're sweeping for line and weight here. Needs to pass the top one and the next red. Great effort.
That's pretty good there. Keeps it in front of the tee line and almost fully buried, so that's very good.
Because you wondered there that she could actually be buried and be in front of the tee.
Latvia picks up a win here over Germany.
War jetzt noch einer von uns drin oder nicht? Ihr müsst noch irgendwas confirmen vom...
And that could be a bit of a surprise to some, but the Latvians have come to play clearly. Final score there, 10 shots to 5. Daniela Jentsch was trying a circus shot to split 3 rocks into the house somehow. Not even sure if that was possible, but did not come off for her. So our future game here is the last game in the Kossuth arena this afternoon. All eyes on them. So they can sweep from the front end to carry this rock from Anna Kubeshkova over curls and leaves that Chinese counter shot stone. At least has a couple of ways in here now, the Czechs. A couple of rocks to run back. Could run that red stone top tilt straight onto the shot stone, or even the double run, the yellow red yellow combo.
其他好像没有。我要往这儿旋的话，它打完之后面更大了。
China can't cover everything here.
然后咱要是打水也不行哈。
Coach is looking quite serious. You know, they can't cover all the shots, so they've got to cover the one that they feel is easier for the Czechs to play.
那个漏1/3，反正这个红球漏1/3。
对，就按站位来。
站主要站哪儿？站这儿。
对，主要还是
把他这个球站上的。
把他这个球站上。行吗？可以，行，来吧。
I think the discussion is probably just which shot do you want to leave her?
顺时这个点够了吧？行。
Do they think that it could put a guard in between the two and maybe take away both shots here? Maybe just nibble the centre line.
Yeah, because they looked at hitting the red over on the right hand side of the house and running across to see if they could try and block it, but I think they've decided to just really guard in between the two.
Yeah, I think if you're just off the centre line on the left hand side, perhaps you take away both the shots. If you're close to throwing the guard, at least you're taking away one of the options. Well, it'll be interesting to see where this one settles down and what's left for Kubeshkova here. Not touching this as of yet. Line's looking pretty good here. Just going to finish pretty much in the spot we were discussing. I think that's a pretty good effort by...
yeah, as I say, it's probably the best result. It was trying to weigh up the option of leave her the harder shot.
Question is can Kubeshkova see enough of that red stone to make the run back?
Ale my ho Anička ho nevidí celý, jako musíme ho brát. A tohle vám přijde méně proveditelný, jo?
Definitely made it harder.
Tady jakoby víc, kde ho vzít, jako...
No ale musím ho brát určitě zevnitř, jinak to nevyjde.
Jo.
Tady, museli bychom čekat na přetočení, Betty. Pojďme tohle, hack.
It just shows you that one good draw around from China.
Yep.
Put serious pressure onto her opposition.
Well, this will definitely be the last stone of the game.
Není to málo.
And it's either a huge relief for the Czechs if they make it, or it's quite an upset if they can't pull it off here. She'll be looking at running this red stone on the top 12 onto the yellow stone, having to come quite close to that yellow guard, just thrown by Wang Bingyu. So here we go, folks. Last rock of the game. Needing this to curl, urging Pliskova to sweep for the extra finish onto the red. It's not there, it's not even close, and it's a steal of 1 for China. They've been able to somehow come back and win this game. Quite the roller coaster we've had this afternoon. The Czechs just seemed like they were running away with the game, but final score 7-6 for China. Well, that's could be very disappointing for the home team. Up so much and just let that game slip between their fingers. And China can't believe they've been able to turn that game around and pick up a win. We'll have some highlights and trying to get a word in with the winning skip, Wang Bingyu. Eighth end. Wang Bingyu with the in-turn draw. Unswept, settles down on the button for 1. Still trailing Czech Republic as we move into the 9th end. Good setup by Team China. Kubeshkova facing 2 counters, looking for the nose hit here for the single point, but just over curling and rolls just a tad too far. China steals 1, but would still have to steal another 2 points in the 10th end. Flying 3 before Kubeshkova's final stone in 10. A double needs to be made, but somehow Kubeshkova is able to make contact with all the rocks in play, but stuffs both yellows. Puts the game into the extra. And after a nice guard by Wang Bingyu, it's a tough angled run back for Kubeshkova to win the game. But just hangs out there, never comes back, and does not make contact with the yellow shot stone. China steals the game away from Czech Republic in what was a roller coaster of a game.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other scores this afternoon, we just saw Latvia pick up a win over Germany. Of course, Denmark edging out Italy 7-4. And this women's first of women's sessions this week in the Olympic qualification event. These are the standings. Of course, China, Denmark, and Latvia on top. You'll see Finland had a bye this afternoon, so they're yet to play at 0-0. And Czech Republic, along with Germany, Italy, will be at the bottom of the standings so far, but quite a few games left here in the Koszyutka Arena in Pilsen.
Bingyu, many congratulations. What a game. Tell me how you feel right now.
Oh, still nervous. I think this first game, and the Czech Republic, they are play very well, and it's the first game we just a little nervous at the start, and I think got the feeling at almost finished end, but we are so lucky, I think. Yeah.
And what made the difference there in the game to turn it around?
Sorry, what was that?
What made the difference in the game for yourselves to turn it round?
I think just the focus in the game, and then before the first end, a little nervous, exciting, so make you thinking too much and like that. And after the fifth end, I think the whole team, and find our way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how important is it for you to get off to a good start here this week?
I think this is the first game we won. It's absolutely give us the confidence, but it's just a start. We have the round robin, still have the 5 games to play, and it's a final game there. So we hope we can continue and feel more comfortable after. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that's for all the coverage this afternoon, but there's lots more curling action left in this Olympic qualification event 2017. Stay tuned here on World Curling TV.